I mean, for those who didn't see it, it was a bizarre moment. Right at the end, Gabriel got away with it after picking the ball up from a goal kick in the area after the whistle went. So Raya squares the ball to him and he picks it up, which, according to Thomas Tuchel, the referee didn't give us a penalty, as Danny mentioned, as it was a kid's mistake. This was Tuchel on that moment.
I felt like a lot of little decisions against us. I felt a bit like pushed from the crowd, which was a fantastic crowd. And for me, and for all of us, he did a huge mistake in not giving a hand penalty. I know it's a crazy situation, but they put the ball down. He whistles, he gives the ball free, and the defender takes the ball in its hand. What makes us really angry is the explanation on the field. He told our players that it's a kid's mistake and he will not give a penalty like this in a quarter-final. This is a horrible explanation because that means he's judging now handballs. It's a big kid's mistake, adult's mistake, or whatever. It's we feel angry because it's a huge decision against us.
Tuchel's right. And the way he articulated it there, Simon, is a horrible explanation as to why.
If indeed that
he
is
didn't give it.
I mean, I have a reservation about what a lot of comes out of Thomas Tuchel's mouth. This is a manager that gets bounced out of clubs regularly for what he does and doesn't say behind the scenes, whether it's PSG, whether it's Chelsea, and now Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but it sounds like he's only transferring what his players told him.
Well, yeah, things get lost in translation. If that is indeed what the referee said, then they have every right to have a high level of irritation and a high level of reaction to it. But we know that things get passed along in translation, and if he didn't hear it firsthand himself, then perhaps he should reserve his judgment. But the evidence is in front of his eyes. If indeed the situation manifests itself as we all saw, then it's a challenged decision. It's a poor decision.
It is a poor decision, but I've got to say, what a great world it would be if refs were allowed to be ref. I know they're not, so I'm not hypothesising, but to ref with common sense, because obviously the ball gets past him, he puts his hand on it to take a goal kick in effect. It's a pen by the letter of law. It's a pen, no doubt.
Yeah.
But actually, it's quite refreshing. Do you want to win a game like that? We didn't, you know what I mean? It's like...
So you kind of back what the referee did?
Well, I can't because it's not the law, so it's nonsense. But it is a pen. Everyone knows it's a pen. But I kind of get the logic around football. That's the way... You don't want to win games like that, do you? And also, because of a ridiculous decision like that, he gets no credit then for the way both refs in both games last night, trying to keep the game going and flowing and telling people to get up. And even the Saka one, Ali McCoy's called it so quickly. Brilliant, by the way. It put himself... So many pundits wouldn't do that because they would... The backlash from the Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Saka kicked out. It's not a pen.
But, I mean, there would have been murders if he'd given the pen. Would there not? Like, actually, no, that's a penalty. There would have been chaos. We'd be talking about that for years. The moment Gabriel picked the ball up after Raya squared it to him, that moment that a penalty was given in a Champions League game at 2-2.
But imagine going out to that. Say that was the second game. Imagine going out in the last few minutes.
Yeah, but was it a penalty?
Well, of course it is. It can't be ridiculous.
But you say imagine going out. Yes, so to that extent, you can imagine going out.
Yeah, but that's not the way it should be. So I'm glad he made that decision, the ref. Arsenal shouldn't be going to Munich 3-2 down because of an innocent mistake of him putting his hand on the ball.
But another ref would have given it.
Possibly.
Where are you with it? I see you...
he's digesting what I'm...
Staring into space about this. But do you think it was a pen, so it's a pen? I mean, Danny says it was a penalty. Give it.
I think it's a penalty because it's a penalty. I mean, the defender's gormless, so I don't know what he thinks he's doing.
Yeah, but he's not trying to
get an advantage.
It's not like deliberately fouling someone.
But that's irrelevant.
No, but Simon's right.
It is irrelevant. I get it.
Where's his head?
But how brilliant.
But no one saw it.
How brilliant that a referee had the balls to go, he's made a mistake. Something a 5-year-old would do. I know it's pathetic, but let's get on. Come on, let's play.
It's almost as if he's saving Gabriel from the embarrassment of the moment.
No, he's done something referees should never do, which is taking the law into his own hands.
Yeah.
And what he's done is he's made a mature decision off his own moral compass, going, I'm not going to decide if he said it, by the way, I'm not going to decide a quarter-final of Champions League on that fella making a little mistake and giving you a goal for it. It's ridiculous. Come on, get on.
The irony of it is that he wouldn't have decided it. He would have implemented the laws, and the defender and his gormless approach to what was in front of him would have decided it. And I wonder if... I mean, I didn't think...
Gormless.
Well, it is. It's gormless. What, you're not paying attention to what's around you.
Yeah.
But you wonder if it gets carried in. I didn't think it was a penalty, but I reckon 9 out of 10 referees, or maybe 8 out of 10 referees in a game of that magnitude with the home support, they would have given the Arsenal penalty in terms of Saka.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you wonder if the referees carried that into that decision-making process, going, because you say it's human nature.
Yeah.
I didn't give Munich. I've coughed to the fact that I've made a mistake there. This is a marginal one. I'm going to level this up.
Yeah, that's a good point, Simon.
I think you're spot on. But the only problem with that, if VAR had seen it and gone, got to go and look at it, it's a definite pen.
It was a game of incidents. As we approach half-10, Saka denied a penalty in stoppage time. You're right, Simon. So to cheat or be cheated, which was that? And that moment when Gabriel picked up the ball inside his own box, having been squared it from Raya, and the referee apparently reportedly said on the field of play, that was a kid's mistake, so I'm not going to give it. But it was a penalty all day long, says Danny, and he played the game at the highest level. A game of incidents. Where do you stand on this? Were Arsenal lucky not to leave the field of play last night, 3-2 down, had that penalty been given? Great decision. It was a great decision, says Danny Murphy. Common sense refereeing, says Danny Murphy. Common sense refereeing.
More of it, please.
Okay, there's a message coming in. The ref just showed common sense on the penalty. He could have sent Kane off for the elbow, but he didn't. He helped the game finish 11 against 11. And it was a great game, so the ref should be applauded for last night. Absolutely. Do you go with all of that, Danny?
Well, yeah, I mean, I do, tongue-in-cheek. The reality is, if I was playing for Munich, I'd be fuming because the ref's there to do a job and implement the laws, not ref in a way that he feels right. But in a more idealistic world, I'd love to see referees thinking on the feet better like that, but they're not allowed to.
Okay, well, we saw Saka denied a penalty in stoppage time, so to cheat or be cheated, which was it? So much to get through. Ricky's a big Liverpool fan. Ricky, good morning. What do you want to say?
Morning, guys. Great show as always.
Morning.
So, first thing for me is the penalty which Bayern Munich should have had. Now, any other game, I reckon in the Premier League, that would have been given 100%.
Oh, we just lost Ricky. He's just gone through a tunnel just at that key moment. Ricky will come back. But Gabby, I think you were at the Emirates last night. Is that right?
Hello, Jim. Can I say first and foremost, this is the best show on UK, possibly world radio when it comes to sports. There's no other and Simon is probably my favourite, though he's got a bit off-piste, shall we say, recently with some of his conversations. But I honestly, as a lorry driver, you don't realise how many tarmac lorry drivers appreciate your efforts and your debate, your daily debate, gents. I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan.
Thank you.
I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Still waiting for Simon to get his wallet out and buy us. But on the course of Arsenal, I love going to watch football, West Ham, Arsenal, all the time. The thing with Arsenal last night, Bayern Munich, they've got nothing else to play for. So they were up for it. And I think the referee at the end of the day, Kane should have been sent off for the elbow. You could argue, it looked like a stonewall penalty for Saka, but then friends have told me he stuck his leg out. You then also got the incident with Gabriel, which I didn't see. And I think, like Danny touched on there, I think we complain all the time about VAR stepping in. It felt like there was no VAR last night. And the actual referees across the board, well, the referee, the panel last night that were there, they just wanted that game to flow freely. And off the back of that, we got an extraordinary game of football. Arsenal didn't, unfortunately, turn up as well as they should have done. But what do we do if it had been a game of VARs that the VAR had acted on every decision last night and slowed that game and put another 10 minutes on? Would have been arguing today that VARs got involved too much. So
Gabby, that's a great call and a number of great points, mate. You make a number of really good points, and it backs up your argument, Danny. At the end of it, sure, he didn't give the penalty to Bayern Munich because of the Gabriel moment. He didn't give Bayern Munich the penalty, Arsenal the penalty regarding Saka. He didn't send Kane off. It finished 11 against 11.
There's obviously a message to the group of referees who are in the Champions League to try their best to make everything flow and not stop it as often. Because the game Manchester City-Real Madrid, I thought, was ref brilliantly. The amount of times players jumped down, rolled down, and then they had to get up because the ref was just like, play on, play on. It was brilliant refereeing performance, the Madrid game. I don't know which one you watched, but I was trying to watch both. I watched more of Madrid than the Arsenal, but I think there's obviously been a message to them to try their best. I don't know who's dictating that. We'll find out who's in charge, but the reality is that's how it should be.
Sure. We've got Ricky back. who's driven through a tunnel, is out the other end of it. Ricky, good morning again. What do you want to say, mate?
Hi there. Sorry about that, guys.
Not at all.
Yeah, great show as always. So, like I'm saying, the Gabriel incident, for me, that should have been a penalty. Obviously, wasn't given. I feel like in the Premier League, it probably would have been given because the referees and VAR probably would have checked it over and over and over again. I felt like VAR wasn't there last night. Might have been asleep. I don't know. But there's a lot of Arsenal fans saying that, we should have had a penalty, but they're not mentioning the Gabriel incident. Were they asleep when this whole incident was going on or what? As for the Saka penalty, I felt like Saka may have left his foot in. These were Ali McCoy's words last night. I feel like Saka has left his foot in there. That was his own word. So, I mean, for me, it kind of did look like he left his foot in, but that was kind of like slow motion. But when it's fast-paced, it does look like a penalty.
Well, Ricky, let's put that to Danny. Danny, why do modern-day players, some of them, leave a foot in?
Well, a very simple answer is because more often than not, they get a penalty.
Did you ever do it?
No.
Why was that?
I think mainly because it wasn't who I was, but furthermore, I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to dive. I don't know. Maybe they practice it at a young age now. I couldn't do it.
Is it a modern thing? Is it only just crept in, or
no?
have you
It's
seen
been
it for
here
years?
a while. I mean, when I was playing, it was getting more rife. But it's just some players are that way inclined. I mean, I saw. I mean, even Bellingham, the wonderful Bellingham. I saw a tackle go in on him. I think it was a Kanji. I can't remember. Or maybe Diaz.
In the middle of the pitch, I saw it.
And didn't even really touch him.
Right.
And they won the ball really well. And he went flying down and rolling around. And then 2 minutes later, he was up sprinting because he didn't even get touched. He was just trying to get a free kick.
Sure.
And I just thought, what?
Yeah.
Right, it's just it's ingrained in our young players. Yeah. Unfortunately.
There's Joe from Manchester. I love Simon. Well, so do we, Joe. I could listen to his views all day. I'm not sure about that. But could you please ask him the difference between the Gabriel penalty and the Johnny Bairstow run out in the Ashes last year? Because Simon was strongly against a run out in the Test match because of the sportsmanship, even though it was out.
Good point.
But what about the handball penalty last night? Surely that's similar, says Joe in Manchester.
If you remember what I said about the Johnny Bairstow situation, it was a character.
Oh, hang on. No, I can't.
It was the characterisation of the captain's role in the appeal that was made could be withdrawn by the captain. And I looked at the Australian captain and said, "Why would you want to do this? Is this what you want to be? Is this what you want to achieve?" The umpire made a decision. I didn't dispute the umpire's decision. I disputed the behaviour of the Australians and said the cricket has an understanding, an implicit understanding that if they withdraw that appeal and go, actually, no, then that could have been a different outcome. So
but the rules are the rules, aren't they?
Yeah, and I didn't complain about the rules. I didn't say the law was an ass. I said the manner in which it was implemented by the Australian team. I talked about the Australian team's conduct and their outlook and their captain's ability to be able to withdraw that appeal. Yeah. Arsenal can't withdraw the penalty, or Bayern Munich can't turn around and say, actually, we won't have that penalty.
Well, they could.
Well, they won't, will they?
No, but what would you say if they did? So if the ref had to give that penalty last night, the captain of Munich said, we'll take him and just kicked it out for a goal kick.
Yeah. Good message from Govey. Simon said
Go back to
yesterday.
doing newspaper articles.
Simon said yesterday that we're waiting for the evolution of VAR. Last night we saw it. It should be used for clear and obvious errors, and considering the debate around the errors means that they were not clear or obvious. The ref made the decision. We all should move on after a game like that. He's got a point, hasn't he?
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I mean, I think a lot of the decisions that referees make on the pitch are decisions that should be stuck with. I also think referees should have more courage about their initial decision. As we've seen, when they go to the monitor, they get influenced. And I think what you saw was a young referee. Danny made a point. I wonder if the next generation of referees are getting a little bit of courage, are getting the message about making decisions, because most of us can live with an on-field decision that is wrong because we're now moving into territory we want referees to have authority. Yeah. Because we've got VAR supporting it, we've become even more double down on the fact there should be no errors. Sure.
That was a great call from Gabby, who's out and about driving a lorry, I think. Thanks for your lovely comments. Is he right about that? Would you ever fancy taking over Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah.
What a great club.
Yeah, no, I in this book that I'm trying to put together, which will probably be finished about the same time as a Doomsday book, I'm one of the questions I'm asking myself is, if I was to buy another football club, what would I buy? And one of the clubs I mentioned is Sheffield Wednesday, because it's got huge potential. It's a huge area. It's got huge catchment. It's got huge support bases. It's a proper football club in a proper area, where everything, if you wanted to build that football club and embrace the fans, you'd be able to achieve it. If you wanted to have a help with a training ground, you wouldn't be having local planning permission from the council in London saying you can't do this because someone somewhere with a telescope can't see their view.
Yeah. Well, and it would be near where you're going to end up living in Hull.
No,
that's
no,
true,
let's
Danny.
not go
That's
from
a
one
good
extreme to the
point.
other. But yes, is the
And-
answer.
and
Sheffield
you're
Wednesday,
s-
fabulous club.
And you're still only in your mid-60s, so there's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catching up with you in your mid-80s.
In all seriousness, I know I'm taking. Look, I'm getting to the break. Is there time yet for you to own another club?
Yeah. How do you think I bloody am?
No. I'm meaning is
No, he means
not because of the years and you're getting on. Which, well, anyway,
I am
I'll
getting
skate
on,
over that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
is it something you still want to do?
Not hugely. With other people's money, that was one of the biggest lessons I learned. The fool and his money. Use other people's money.
But Sheffield Wednesday would be right up there.
Proper football club.
Yeah.
Proper. And all I think it needs is proper leadership. And some money, of course, and some proper direction, but the fans are there.
Yes.
I mean, look at them. Look at that playoff semi-final last year. Look at the 33,000 fans that they had in that return leg after getting their heads handed to them at Peterborough. Look, and they came back and overturned it.
Incredible, wasn't it?
Look at the size of that football club. It's always perplexed me why this football club has languished in the way it has done for 25 years. Some of the ownership models, and I sat in their boardrooms and they were old farts and they were really stuck in an antiquated time warp with some of their thinking.
They
But
threw
it's-
you out, didn't they?
No, they didn't want women in the boardroom. They only wanted one director at a time, and they didn't want certain things.
Right.
And they used to go to Football League meetings, and their chief executive would put a glass eye to sleep.
You know, in the book, did Danny and I get nice mentions?
No.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.